Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and those listening of all sorts of ears. This is Derek Kramer.
And I'm Frank R. Curry.
And this is The Leftovers.
Leftovers.
A nice new segment here, a new little podcast, I guess you can kind of call it.
At WBNY.
At WBNY, we only get one day a week to talk about the things that we know and love. And that's All Talk Mondays. It's a crying shame. So Frank and I put our heads together. We decided to create the very first more talking show. Firsts. We call firsts. Yes. Anyone else at BNY is now a copycat.
Okay. I like that idea.
All right. Well, Frank, obviously, we're both members of the show Neutral Ice.
Yep.
So obviously, we got to start something off here on the Leftovers with a bit of hockey.
As usual.
And obviously, it's going to have a Buffalo twist.
Okay.
The Sabres, last night, defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs, or as I affectionately call them on Neutral Ice, the Laughs.
The Toronto Make Me Laughs.
The Toronto Make Me Laughs.
Yes.
That was good. We should trademark that.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's already been done.
But they beat the Laughs 4-3 and it came back from a 3-1 deficit as well.
They were down 3-1.
They were down 3-1 in the third period, and the unlikely names came out in this one. Matt Ellis had his first 2-point game since 2010.
Yeah.
That was a nice goal, actually.
Yeah,
very Tyler Ennis looking.
Yeah.
He deked out Bernier. He got a pass in the high slot, dekes out Bernier all alone, and next thing you know, that I was pretty sure I had to check that it was Matt Ellis. But he got a goal. It was a great pass by Zadorov too, by the way.
Yeah,
I'll add that.
I did hear that. I listened to most of the game on WGR.
Yeah, I had to check the highlights out after listening to it. But Matt Ellis has his first multi-point game since 2010.
Oh, good for him.
Zach Dalpe scores his first goal in the season and as a Sabre.
Yeah.
And they picked the two of them picked a very timely
time
moment. A timely moment to score their first goals of the season.
Yeah.
And it sent Buffalo fans into raised blood pressure.
It still doesn't surprise me as one bit because they always beat Toronto at home. They always beat them. Like, the Toronto-Buffalo series the last, 3-4 years have always been really even because Toronto wins it in Toronto and Buffalo wins it in Buffalo.
Yes, I saw that. I think it was 19 of the last 24 games between Toronto and Buffalo have been won by the home team.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a very home-dominant series.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while, where before that, it was particularly dominated by Buffalo.
Now, if you are a listener of Neutral Ice, and we do have the latest episode of Neutral Ice on YouTube, on our YouTube channel at WBNY. But if you listen to that last episode, or if you do end up listening to it, I'm just going to spoil it for you anyway if you haven't. I kind of essentially went 1-on-5 with the rest of the gang when it came to the tank for the Buffalo Sabres. I had went to that game in Phoenix on that last Thursday night, a week ago today, actually. Yeah. And what I had seen was almost an embarrassment to the sport itself. So I officially drew my line in the sand. I had struggled with this all season, but I also know why it's happening. I know that it is the best thing that can happen for the team. But now I've drawn my line in the sand, and this means war for me, I guess. But the team last night, they showed that they felt disgraced by their fans, and may be giving that last screw you to them after they got it last week on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as well, where I just don't like it when you're a fan of one team, so you're gonna going to the home game, especially fans who have season tickets too. They're at the game, they're at those games all the time, and they're cheering for the away team. It's not. I just don't like going to the game and cheering for the other team. You want to, I understand Connor McDavid. Yes, Connor McDavid is Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid is good.
He is a generational player. So is Jack Eichel.
They're good. They're good hockey players.
They're hell of good hockey players. But I just don't think that as a fan of the Sabres, you shouldn't be cheering against. You should be cheering against them, cheering for Arizona or Toronto or any other team. Just cheer for your team. When your team is playing good, cheer for them. When they're playing bad, just see, like, if you want to go in your head, be like, yay, yay, this is good, this is for the future, yay, but do it all in your head, but don't show it.
Do it in your head, fist bump the guy next to you, or nod in approval.
Yeah, or
if you're gonna
give yourself a little fist pump.
Yes.
It's whatever. It's not a big deal. I've been doing that all season long.
Yes.
Personally.
Do it at home. Do it at the bar.
Exactly.
You can scream as loudly as you want.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily going to bother me.
Yeah, and I'm seeing people. I'm seeing a bunch of my friends over Facebook saying, "Oh, this team's winning. They're a joke. They're a joke for franchise." Like, no, they're not a joke for franchise. They're winning because that's what they get paid to do. These players get paid to win games. They get paid to play hockey. They get paid to play their best each and every night.
Whether that best is good enough to win or not, that is what they are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And,
that's their job.
Sometimes if the fans are forgetting this.
Yeah, because if they don't do that, well, guess what? They'll find Tim Murray or any other GM will find another guy who wants to win, who wants to go out there and be a difference maker on the ice each and every night. That is the job of an NHL player. And I think, and as you just said, fans are forgetting that. Yes, it's about the future. It is about the future, but I don't think players think about the future as much as
the players definitely don't think about the
because they're thinking about now.
They don't think they're thinking about the future. They're not
in a way
thinking about the Sabres' future.
Yeah,
guys like Matt Ellis,
their future.
They're thinking Matt Ellis, Zach Dalpe, Cody Hodgson in a sense.
Yeah.
The entire
guys
fourth line.
Pretty much, yeah. Guys like Andre Mazzaros, possibly Mike Weber.
Strachan, Benoit, all those defensemen.
A lot of these guys, Phil Veroni, Johan Larsson.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These are all guys.
Grigorenko,
too, yeah. These are all guys who are thinking about their future in the NHL. They are playing their best so that they can play in the NHL
for their next contract.
Season. Yeah, because these are all guys. A lot of these guys are going to be free agents this year, whether it's unrestricted free agency or restricted free agency, and they want to be in the NHL next season. They don't want to be signed to an AHL contract or have to go over to Europe to play. They don't want to do that. They want to stay in North America, and they want to play in the NHL because that was their dream, that was their goal, and they reached that goal, but they want to continue with it. So they're playing hard right now so that they can continue to play next season. So they are thinking about the future, but their future, not the team's future. The people that think about the team's future are Ted Nolan, the entire coaching staff.
Ted Nolan doesn't care about the team's future.
He's
with the players now. I think he's caring about his future. He wants to go out winning games.
Yeah, I can. Okay, yeah,
because he's not safe.
I can agree with that.
He's not safe.
He knows he's not. Okay, yeah. But Tim Murray especially, he's the one who's thinking about this team's future.
Yes.
That's why he made those moves at the trade deadline. That's why he's made those moves since he came here, trading Ryan Miller, trading Tyler Myers, getting Evander Kane, trading Stafford and Armia and Lemieux and
Armia hurt.
So he's thinking about this team's future. But, us as fans are thinking about this team's future too. But you also got to remember, the players are playing for themselves right now. They're playing for pride.
Future.
They are playing for their future and pride.
Now, I didn't start this segment to ride heavy on the tankers. I did not.
No, I am. We're all in favor of the tank. We want Connor McDavid, especially on this team. We want either Connor McDavid or Jack Eichel, but mostly Connor McDavid on this team. We want this type of generational player because we've never had this kind of generational player before. But fans have to understand this team is not going to lose on purpose. They're going to lose because they're bad.
They're going to lose because Tim Murray put together a team that
was designed to lose.
That was designed to lose. They're not good enough.
Yeah.
And these next 5 games should remind you of that.
It's going to remind you of that. The next 5 games: Chicago, Carolina, New York Islanders, Columbus Blue Jackets, Pittsburgh Penguins. Those are 3 playoff. 3 of those teams are making the playoffs.
And I counted a possible 4 points.
I count a possible probably 2 points. The only team I see them coming close to beating is Carolina. Chicago, they're playing for top 3 in the division right now because Minnesota's right up their butts.
Minnesota's right there.
Carolina, well, they're rebuilding too, so that's the only game I can see them winning.
But Cam Ward's been good coming back.
Cam Ward has been playing very well, so that's why I'm saying they're the closest team I could see them winning, but they may not even win because also in Carolina too.
And they are an awful road team.
Yeah, Buffalo's still an awful road team.
They're an awful team in general, but
well, yeah. But the New York Islanders are playing for a spot for the. They're still trying to compete for the division.
They're trying to play for a playoff spot. They're falling out of favor.
Yeah, they're starting to. So you know that they're gonna be playing for something in this game. Columbus is the hottest team in the NHL right now. 9-1 in their past 10. No, they're 9-1 in their past 10 games. They've won 7 straight games. Because when this team is healthy, they are good. They are so good, and that's been their Achilles heel literally all season long. Was injuries. Like 3 guys got hurt at the same time. Then all of a sudden, one guy came back, another guy got hurt, and it's just been a constant loop this whole season for Columbus, and that's why they really are right now.
Luck.
They're not a bad team. They are a great team, and this is the type of team that everyone expected Columbus to be this year.
Did you see Eric Johnson's goal last night? There was, I swear, such great passing. Ryan Johansson in overtime. This is 4-on-4. Ryan Johansson circles around the entire defense of Boston.
Yeah.
I think it was Boston.
I don't remember who Columbus played. I don't know what.
Either way,
we'll check it.
Opposing goalie. Okay, Johansson circles around the entire offensive zone with this puck, dishes it to Mark Letestu, who puts up probably one of the most beautiful slap passes that you're going to see right onto Eric Johnson's stick.
I think it's Jack Johnson.
Oh yeah, Jack
Something
Johnson.
Like that.
Jack Johnson.
Yeah, it's
Excuse me,
Jack.
Jack Johnson.
There's a difference.
Yes, Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson's way better.
Jack Johnson. But either way, it goes on the stick of Jack Johnson. My apologies for screwing that up. But and then he just buries a backhander. And
I did see that, and it was one of the fantastic goal.
It was one of the prettiest plays.
It shows this potential of this team. That because look at that. Columbus has their number 1 center for the next 10 years. They have Ryan Johansson. Ryan Johansson's still really young.
Good.
He's I think Ryan Johansson's like 22, 23 years old.
Yeah,
he's getting into his prime right now.
He's a good hockey player.
He's easily their best player, the best player on the team besides Sergei Bobrovsky, who we know he's their franchise goalie.
Won a Vezina last year.
Bobrovsky. I have to do it because I love that so much. But then you have Jack Johnson, who's their best defenseman. They traded away James Wisniewski, but that's understandable because they are a rebuilding team. They're not rebuilding. They're
restocking the cabinet.
They're going to be retooling.
But it's not rebuilding. They're restocking.
Yeah,
really.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say retool.
Mm-hmm. Just tweak it.
Yeah.
Yes. And so Columbus is another team that you can easily see the Sabres losing to.
Easily. And then they finish off against
the Pittsburgh Penguins. Anton Forsberg.
They beat New Jersey, by the way.
Oh, it was New Jersey. Yes, it was past Corey Schneider.
Yeah.
That was right.
But as we just said, Columbus is a team that when they're healthy, they can be one of the best teams in the NHL.
So now, the point of all this, Frank, we're going over this, and the basic question becomes this: is it time to push the panic button? If you're a tanker?
Not yet. The reason is it's still it's a 2-point lead, but Arizona, Buffalo did use their game in hand. However, there's still a 2-point lead. Arizona also has a tiebreaker, so make it a 3-point lead. Make it a 4-point lead for Arizona, essentially. 3 points because 3 points But
shout out to Chappie who had just shown up.
Okay, hi Chappie. But okay, however. It's still a 3-point lead for Arizona, which means Buffalo's going to have to win a game. They have to win a game.
They have to get 4 points.
They have to win a game and lose an overtime game, and that's assuming
3 points,
assuming Arizona loses in regulation. Regulation.
They have to go pointless in their final 5.
Exactly, and Buffalo has to get 3 points in order for them to get 29th. That being said, Arizona's next 2 games are against San Jose. It's a home-and-home series. San Jose struggles against really bad teams.
San Jose is one of the more inconsistent teams at this point.
Very inconsistent, especially with the way that team is going. They're pretty much out of the playoffs right now. They're probably not going to care. So, that being said, Arizona might split one of those 2 games. Yes. Probably the home game. You never know. But they're probably going to split one of those games. So, there's an extra 2 points Arizona is likely to get.
So, to borrow from the Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Relax.
RELAX. Just relax. The Sabres are fine because they're likely not going to win a game for the rest of the season. Like I said, the only game they're probably going to win is Carolina.
Trust me, I've done my fair share of, slamming on this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had mentioned, that, people are going to have to deal with their raised blood pressure with this. That the Sabres' last 5 points came from the following two teams: Toronto, who fails
Is bad.
who fails in more spectacular ways than Buffalo ever can dream of,
And then Arizona.
and Arizona in 2 different games.
Yeah.
So the last 5 points that the Sabres have acquired have come from the second and third worst team in the NHL.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes, I get it. The fact that, they're almost at 29th. They're almost there.
I think the thing is that fans are expecting this team to be like 10 points out by now.
No,
That's what fans are expecting, thinking that this is where this team shouldn't be this close to 29th. This team should be farther away from 29th.
And that's not their fault.
Yeah, that's not our fault.
Brayton has brought it up several times on Neutral Ice. This is the worst possession team
in the NHL.
Probably
in NHL history.
Yes, I would say save for maybe 1 or 2 franchise teams, like brand new teams.
Yeah.
That's the only exception.
Yeah.
They are almost franchise team bad.
They're almost as bad as a brand new expansion team.
Yeah, expansion, that was the word I'm thinking.
It's not a big deal. But, yeah, they're almost as bad as that kind of team.
Yeah, they are expansion team bad.
Yeah, that's really bad. I mean, think about the 74-75 Capitals.
Yes.
They're probably almost as bad as them. That's like the worst. That's the worst.
That's
team.
the standard. That's
the Yeah, that is
that's
the
the
line
Brown standard.
That's the line for bad. That's the line for bad. That has been recorded as the worst team in NHL history in terms of points and wins.
Yes.
That team got like 9 wins their first ever season. Single digit wins. Yeah.
Bruh.
That's like that is bad. That is really, really bad.
That's not. It's again, and the Sabres are almost at that level.
Yeah, and they're almost at that level. So there's absolutely no way
We can't
that this
blame
team
this team.
can. Yeah,
We can't blame this team if they don't finish 30th. Why? They were awful. Murray did his job. The thing is, it seems that there's just teams that are deliberately trying to lose, that they started it later than Buffalo, who's just been awful all year.
yeah.
And again, it's not the player's fault. It is not Ted Nolan's fault. As much as I don't necessarily like Ted Nolan at this point, it's more or less.
I like
it's
him
more
up
or less.
to a point.
It's more or less because of the regression, or the I would say bias against Mikhail Grigorenko.
Okay.
I've seen great things
Out of him
in Rochester,
Yeah.
where the man plays 2 shifts on the second line, and next thing you know, he gets bumped down to the 4th
Just because Ted Nolan didn't like what he did.
on 1 shift.
Yeah.
And yesterday,
That's not fair to him. He's 20 years old.
but yesterday I finally got to, I saw that, when Nolan gives him minutes, he actually does things well.
Yeah.
I mean, he made a great pass in the game against Phoenix. Arizona.
That's not even- But yeah, he needs a coach that can develop his game.
Yes.
We haven't given him that.
We have not given him a coach to develop his game. I mean,
Yeah.
Chad Cassidy's done a great job in Rochester.
I thought,
by the way.
I thought so.
You look at what
they're a
Johan
bad
Larsson
team,
has
but-
been. Johan Larsson.
Larson's been great.
Larsson has
Larson's
made
been
big
great
strides.
since coming up.
Big strides.
He might make the team next year.
Ristolainen
Has made
became-
huge strides. He is probably our best defenseman.
He became our best defenseman.
He is our best defenseman right now. He
became it.
He is 19 years old. He is our best defenseman.
He is.
That's scary.
Matthew Collar of WGR said, brought up the question: Is he untouchable?
Yes, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
finding a defenseman like him is
That's rare.
It's rare.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his Corsi. Look at his Corsi numbers when he's with Zadorov.
It's good.
Actually, I think it's 15 points higher than if he's with any other defenseman on this team.
Yeah. So I mean, him and Zadorov, that's your potential combination.
And Nolan knows he can't put Ristolainen with Bogosian right now.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the team would be a tire fire back there.
Exactly.
And again, Nolan's job is to coach the team to win.
Yeah.
So
put
I'm
the best
sorry.
players on the ice every single game.
He wants to balance his roster out so that he has his fighting chance.
Yeah. So when we go back to Columbus real quick, I got a score. Columbus beat the Islanders today in a shootout.
They're good.
That's just another reason that they're good. They came back from 3-1 against the Islanders to win a shootout. Eric Bolton got his first goal of the season for the Islanders. Then Brandon
those are the
Dubinsky.
days.
Brandon Dubinsky ties the game in the first period. Second period, John Tavares nets his 35th goal of the season. Then Ryan Strome early in the third Nets is 17th of the season.
Ryan
So the
Strome is-
Islanders are up 3-1 right now. Columbus, they're out of the playoffs, but they didn't give up.
They didn't give up
They
because
kept pressing, and
they know.
Jack Johnson scores, and then Ryan Johansson scores.
What a surprise! We named all of those players.
And then and then on
highlight.
2 goals in a row in the shootouts, Mark Letestu and Ryan Johansson win the game for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They win 4-3, and they're 10-1 in their past 11 games.
Did we not mention them in all of those players in one highlight?
We just did, yes.
I was
shows
recapping
this
one
team.
play of the team, and that's how good those
The
players
Islanders
are.
feel relieved though because they did get a point, so they're now officially second in the Metropolitan Division, 1 point over Pittsburgh. Islanders are at 96, Pittsburgh's at 95. Washington is right up their trail at 94 points. That's why I also think the game against Pittsburgh, it is the last game of the season for
they're
Buffalo.
gonna have something to play for.
But Pittsburgh's got something to play for, exactly, because they're probably going to be playing for a division spot, probably a chance at home ice in the first round of the playoffs.
Home ice,
And for Pittsburgh,
maybe even
that is huge.
Maybe
because
even who they even want to play.
Maybe it could be.
Yeah,
And then because Washington's 94 points, so Pittsburgh could drop to a wild card team if they don't win.
yeah, and no team wants to be the road team
In
for
Columbus,
all the playoffs.
Yeah. So Columbus, they are eliminated from playoffs. They're at 80 points right now, but they have 5 games left.
For all the injuries though, to be at
And
80 points,
That's pretty good.
yes,
That's pretty good. That really shows that this
They
season,
could hit 90.
They could have. I would argue this: if Columbus was fully healthy for more of the season than what they are now, I could argue they could have been a 100-point team.
exactly.
They could have if
They're talented enough.
Bobrovsky never got hurt, if they didn't lose guys like Dubinsky, Boone Jenner, any of these guys
Yeah,
to
They lost all
injuries.
those guys.
Yeah, you could argue that they could be could have 20 more points.
yeah, for sure. This is a team they're good. They have good players.
Very good.
They have good players. They just didn't have them the entire season. They also had
Exactly.
to deal with the drama of Ryan Johansson holding out earlier before the season.
And then when he came in, he's still their best player.
Yes.
And we know, remember the story with Jack Johnson?
Yes. Bankruptcy because his parents started taking his money.
Man.
I'm glad to know that all my money would be safe from my parents. They wouldn't take my money.
My parents wouldn't take my money either.
They wouldn't take my money.
I would hurt them.
I wouldn't hurt them.
I would.
I'd be hurt by them.
I'd be hurt. I'd be hurt, and then I would want to hurt them.
I mean,
Not physically hurt,
yes,
mentally hurt.
But again, either way, I know that that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
My parents are awesome.
So am I.
Love you, Mom and Dad. Anyway, we're kind of coming back to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Marcus Trueheart of WBNY. He seems to have a level head on his shoulders right now. He came to me today. He's like, I'm not worried. Everything that
We finally got to him. Thank you, because he'd been worried last week. He was worried.
Very worried.
I told him.
We'll get
In December, that last fall semester at Buff State, I told him, don't be worried. This team is designed to lose, especially after the deadline. They're going to lose a lot of games. They're probably going to win a few, but they're still going to lose a lot of games.
Yes.
So don't be worried. I told him this in December.
Now,
I told him this. I also told him this when they went on that little winning streak that they had back in late November, early. Yeah, exactly. I told him this. Don't be worried. Every team has periods where they're going to win more games than lose. Over for like 10 games or 15 games. They're going to win a lot of games.
Teams have hot streaks.
Teams have hot streaks. Say the 2013 last season Sabres, the team that had 21 wins the entire year, had a brief winning streak. A couple like 3 or 4 game winning streaks, but they won a few games in a row.
Exactly.
And look at their record. They went 21. They pretty much won 21 and 61. So they lost 61 games.
I told Marcus yesterday the same thing that I've been saying here. They face 5 teams that maybe they get a maximum of 4 points, and to claim 29th, they have to get those points, and Arizona has to lose. Has to go pointless.
Yeah.
That's hard to do in this NHL.
It's very hard to do. Exactly.
Law of averages would actually dictate that Arizona will play better because they had an 11-game losing streak recently.
Yeah. I mean, that goes the same for Buffalo because they had a big losing streak too.
Exactly. Things happen.
It happens.
Things happen. Again, If they win against Chicago, I kind of want to just like turn off the internet because I know the rage and fuel that will be coming.
They play Chicago tomorrow. It's in Buffalo at 7 p.m.
And again,
it's right now, according to the score, it's expected that's going to be Lindback versus Scott Darling.
Who?
The backup for Chicago's backup. Scott Darling I think he's from the Chicago area. And he was an undrafted guy, and he signed with Chicago signed him, and he had been in the NHL or the AHL for a while, and like just last season, I think he got his chance to play.
Okay.
And he's outplayed Antti Ranta, who's
their guy like they've been trying to groom for a long time.
Yeah, as the backup for Corey Crawford, and because Antti Ranta ran Ray Emery out of town, sent him to Philly.
Yep.
And now Scott Darling looks like he's running Antti Ranta right out of town.
Yeah, it's definitely something to behold.
Yeah. And then Arizona is playing San Jose tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and again, even if the Sabres win,
they're not going to.
The Coyotes.
They're not going to win.
The Coyotes still have chances to get points.
They're probably still going to beat San Jose at least once. At least once.
The only time I'm going to say that I am okay with you hitting the panic button is if the Sabres claim 29th at any point in these next 5 games.
Exactly.
If they claim 29th, you then have your reason to freak out.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
don't worry.
Keep your blood pressure down. Take your medicine.
Yeah.
Breathe. It'll be okay.
It'll be over very soon.
Or, worst case scenario, if they do end up in 29th, all we got to say is just go Bills.
I still think the team that finishes 29th is going to win the lottery. I still think that's going to happen.
It's happened what, 3 of the past 4 years?
Past, 3 years in general.
3 years in a row.
Last season, Sabres were the worst team. Florida's 29th. They won the lottery. The lockout season, Florida was the worst team. Colorado's 29th. They won the lottery. 2012, Columbus was the worst team. Edmonton was 29th. They won the lottery.
So, ray of hope, people. Also, there's also the chance that, whoever is in 30th ends up with the first pick, and then the Sabres, as the 29th team, would wind up with the second.
Get Jack Eichel.
So, yes, it's not a guarantee. But you still have the Sabres' percentage of getting that pick.
Which is 20%. Arizona.
Plus Arizona's.
And then that's assuming Sabres finish third. The 30th place team is going to have 20% chance.
What's the second place?
13.5.
So
it's a sizable difference.
33.5. There's still 33.5%
There's still a third of a
Mick
chance
Eichel.
that one of those two teams is going to win the lottery.
Yes. And if the Sabres are in 29th, that's a 33.5% chance of Mick Eichel.
Exactly.
It's not 100%. I get it. But it's still higher odds than everyone else.
It is. Exactly. It is.
And I'll deal.
I'm fine with that.
And I remember on Neutral Ice, Nick Lippa had told me, he said, if you are going to deal with it, you cannot say, if you are willing to accept this as a fate, that the Sabres would finish 29th, or that, I'm now so hard against the tank, that I cannot say, I wish we got McDavid or Eichel. I'm okay with this. I have accepted this.
I am...
Because at the end of the day, there are 3 things that are going to happen.
What?
Well, 3 things that aren't going to happen, I should say. 1, no one is lighting themselves on fire, literally.
Okay.
If we end up in 29th.
I hope so. I hope that's the case.
2, no one is performing seppuku. Just stabbing their stomach and just killing themselves that way.
Okay.
And 3, this one may not be as high percentage as the other 2 that I just said, but are you really going to abandon the Sabres for
ever
being better than last place at hockey? I'll let you think about that.
Yeah, really. And I've been saying, I'll easily be saying this all year long. I will say this on Neutral Ice too. I don't care who the Sabres draft.
Exactly.
I really don't care because this team, the prospect pool that this team still has, and especially the guys who are younger than 21 years old, it is the best in the NHL.
Justin Bailey, Nick Baptiste, Hudson Fasching, JT Compher.
Yeah. I'm going to go on the Sabres website right now. And
those are the 4 off the top of my head that I know immediately. And
there's so
many.
You've got
McCabe in Rochester. You've got You've got whoever you end up drafting. It could be Mitchell Marner. It could be Noah Hannafin. It could be Dylan Strome.
Yeah.
Those guys are pretty good at hockeying, too. Yeah. Marner leads the OHL in points. Yes, Connor McDavid got hurt. But guess what? Marner's still in first. That's all that matters.
I mean, McDavid would have been in first, but it's not really a big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna go down a list of names of players right now in the whether they're on the Sabres right now or in the system.
Okay.
That are younger, that are 21 and younger.
Okay.
First guy on the list I see, Zemgus Girgensons.
Zemgus.
Who probably could be our number one center of the future. Mikhail Grigorenko, 20 years old. Girgensons, 21, by the way, both taken in 2012. Those are the forwards right now that are on the roster.
Johan Larsson, 22.
Yeah, and then Larson's 22. Yeah, exactly.
Evander Kane comes to you at 23.
Exactly.
Kane is 23.
Exactly.
Kane is 23.
And then you got Foligno at 23 too. So there you go. Nicely with third or fourth line right there. Nikita Zadorov, 19 years old. Ristolainen, 20 years old.
Tyler Ennis, who's been playing awesome under Ted Nolan, is 25.
So he's in his prime right now.
Of his career.
Yeah.
He is going to help you. He's going to be a veteran presence, but he's also going to be your second line winger or center.
Probably first line.
He might tag on the first line, but again.
And then you have Bogosian at 20, and then you have Bogosian at 24. Now, hang on. Now you have Justin Bailey, 19 years old. Nick Baptiste, 19 years old. You got William Carrier, by the way, 20 years old.
A player who you got from St. Louis.
Yep, in the Ryan Miller trade. JT Compher, 19 years old. Hudson Fasching, 19 years old. Connor Hurley, 19 years old. Let's see here.
Sam Reinhart.
And then Sam Reinhart, 19 years old. Exactly. It's like, and then you have, and then one guy I think is really underrated is Tim Schalle. He's 24, but I like him.
He's got an NHL game.
He's got potential.
He's got
potential.
Mark Pesic is 23.
Mark Pesic is 23. Yes. McCabe is 21.
You want to make sure he's healthy.
Yeah, but he's done for the year now, but that's all right. Make him ready for next year.
Yes.
And then goalies, we got Linus Ullmark coming to North America next season.
Linus Ullmark has been
21 years old right now.
He's been playing with grown men.
He's playing with grown men. Yeah, and that's the other thing about Ristolainen. He played with grown men at 17, 16 years old.
He played with dudes.
He played with
30s.
Guys who have been playing in the NHL longer than he's been alive.
Exactly. And some of those players do go to those Finnish elite leagues or Swedish elite leagues. Not everyone goes to the KHL.
And the 15, 16-year-old Rasmus Ristolainen is going to learn how to be a good defenseman from that guy.
Or
learn how to be good
against that guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes Ristolainen so good.
Ristolainen. And I'm so glad that we've got this kid that
he's
good.
God, this
good.
kid. Yeah, 20 years old. He's going to be 21 next October. And yeah, he's our best defenseman. That is scary good. Again. That is scary good.
And again, the Sabres could be on the hot trail for Matt O'Connor.
Yeah.
The goaltender out of Boston.
BU, yeah. They're one of the favorites to land him. They're saying, right, I think the top three is Buffalo, Edmonton, and Calgary.
Okay. Now, it's a perfect way to segue.
Okay.
Frozen 4 starting up.
Frozen 4, yeah.
Frozen 4.
April 9th, I believe, is when it starts.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
You've got North Dakota facing off against Boston University.
That game.
And you've got Nebraska Omaha, who beat RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
Darn it, I wish they won that game.
I still wish, yeah.
Yes.
Omaha, they're a good team.
But Nebraska Omaha is good, and they're going to be lining up against Providence.
I think I'm going with Providence. I'm telling you right now, my national championship, Providence versus North Dakota. I'm taking North Dakota to win it. North Dakota is the best team in the country.
And
we know, they're ranked second right now because of Minnesota State, who lost to Rochester. They're ranked number one. Rochester beat them, so that's incredible from. But North Dakota, in my opinion, has the best goaltender in the country. They have such a balanced offense. They have such a balanced defense too.
And
Providence,
Jack Eichel, he's been great. He's got the most points. He's led the nation in points.
He led the nation in points.
But he's one man.
He's one guy.
Matt O'Connor is one man.
He's been quiet, and Jack Eichel's been quiet. in this tournament.
Oh boy.
I think he's got like maybe 2 assists. No, he's played 2 games, got 2 assists. So yeah, he's still a point a game player, but he hasn't been standing out. So that's been drawing
Playoff
some
hockey,
concern.
man.
Playoff hockey is intense.
Different.
It's always intense.
Different.
It's always intense. But Providence, I'm taking them to be Omaha. They got John Gillies. He is the goaltending prospect for the Flames. He probably could be the future future goaltender for Calgary when Hiller's gone, when Hiller leaves or retires, whatever. Because Gillies, I don't know when he'll be turning pro, but he's got experience with in the professional level too, because of the World Juniors, which is he was a starting goalie for Team USA in the year after they won gold.
Yeah,
so
and
that's pretty good, and he was pretty good that tournament too. North Dakota, however, is, like I said, such a balanced team. And here.
Oh, okay. There.
We're having some problems. Okay, that's not.
That's not helping.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we tried looking up Providence's roster on NCAA.com.
Here.
And all I got was a pretty big group of failure there. I mean, we got what, 8 players on there?
Yeah.
They gave us 8 players, all seniors.
Okay. Let me just go to the team. Let's go to the team website right now.
Anywho,
we are going to go to roster, and it's not a bad roster. I've seen. I'm trying to watch this. Whatever.
He's a junior.
Yeah, he's a junior.
6'5". Wow, he's a big goalie.
He's a big boy.
He's a big goalie. Okay.
He's a very big big boy.
Here's the other thing about this. I'm cheering for North Dakota right now.
Okay.
Because I want Boston out, so that I can get Matt O'Connor.
Okay. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that.
I mean, it's a little selfish, but
it's a little bit selfish, but because you know what, you would like to see them win.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also want to see the Sabres grab him, play him for a couple games, and also this gives me another question here.
I would actually rather not play him.
I was going to say, if you play
you sign him to he would have to sign a 2-year entry-level deal.
Oh, okay.
If he plays 1 game in the NHL, 1 year is burned.
Really?
Yeah.
Just 1 game?
Just 1 game.
I was going to say, if they sign him and they play him because they want to see what they've got in him right away, and the question I was going to bring up was, if that scenario happens and he gets the Sabres out of 29th and he looks really good, out of 30th, and he looks really good doing it, would finding your potential franchise goalie
would have been worth it?
Be worth it?
It would be worth it, yeah. It would be.
It's harder to find a goalie, honestly, than I would say a Connor McDavid.
Yeah. I can vouch.
True franchise Henrik Lundqvist, Carey Price kind of goalie. I'm not talking Ryan Miller.
Those guys,
and Ryan Miller still did everything he could for this team while he was.
I still don't. Yeah. This guy right here. Okay, I'm on North Dakota's website now. Zane McIntyre. This guy is the best goalie in the country. I am surprised that no one is talking about him right now. Let's see if I can. Okay, hang on. Let me. No. I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna look up his name. Z. All right. His name is spelled really weird.
He is North Dakota's all-time leader with a save percentage of .924. And that's very good.
Let's look at his stats. 2014-2015, he's played 41 games. 29, 9, and 3. A goals against average of 2. Exactly 2. And a .931 save percentage.
High.
Yeah. Okay, this guy's lowest save percentage right now is .920.
Oh, he was a Bruins pick.
And that's the only thing that really Boston Bruins. But 2010. Think about this. Though.
He's 22. Goalies take a longer time to develop.
And I don't think he's signed with them. Because if he was signed with them, he'd be in Providence right now.
He wouldn't be playing college, yes.
Exactly. So, and the Bruins have Tuukka Rask, Malcolm Subban right now. Are they going to keep a guy like? Are they either because the way he's playing? If it translates, if you're thinking, boss is thinking, if it translates into the professional level, you have 3 amazing goalies right there in Rask, Subban, and McIntyre. You're going to have to trade one of them.
You're going to have to get rid of one of them.
It's probably likely going to be McIntyre or
Subban.
Yeah. So if you're thinking that right now, does Boston still want to move forward with Subban? If they do, McIntyre they may not sign.
So, again.
So by that, go by that logic.
Goalies could be fun.
Goalies
could be fun at this time
to think.
of year.
Yeah. So then I'm gonna look. Then here's John Gillies right now for Providence. I mean, okay,
22, 13, and 2. A 9.29 save percentage.
and goals against average of 2.01. It's pretty good. And look at his career numbers too. Freshman year, 2.08 goals against, a 9.31 save percentage. Sophomore year, 2.16 goals against average, 9.31 save percentage. Consistent. He's consistent.
Yeah, that is actually very consistent.
Yeah.
Lost no more than 13 games. That was this past season when he played the most games that he has in his career.
Yeah.
And he was the starting goalie as soon as he got there.
Yeah.
Played 35 games in his freshman year.
Yeah.
34 in his sophomore and 37 this past
Yep.
year.
I'm gonna look up this guy too. This guy's Alex Lyon, plays for Yale. Yale lost to BU in the first round. This guy right now, there should be hype around him. Like he could turn pro. He just played his second season at.
Oh.
Yeah, let's look at his numbers, okay? 32 games. I don't, they don't have his record up right now, but it's a pretty good record. 1.62 goals against, a 9.39 save percentage. I'm going to tell you this. Let me tell you this right now. Yale did have the best defense in the country.
But
that being said, that is scary numbers.
That is
22 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got drafted or not.
It doesn't say anything about his NHL rights.
Yeah.
But again,
still.
Hey, college hockey, WBNY.
we love it all.
We don't discriminate against any kind of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Sabres fans, let's look at these possibilities instead of the possibility of just losing Eichel.
Yeah.
He is
okay.
He is undrafted.
He went undrafted.
He's undrafted.
He went undrafted.
Alex Lyon is undrafted.
He's 22 years old. I want this kid more than I want Matt O'Connor, honestly.
Pick him up.
Let's pick him up. Like I would love to have. I'll take either one of them. Same thing. I'll take either one of these potential franchise.
Why not think about these things instead?
Yeah.
Instead of being completely angry and butthurt about the Sabres winning quote unquote meaningless games. It's about the growth of Larson. It's about how well Ristolainen and Zadorov are playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if those guys look good while they win these quote-unquote meaningless games, they have meaning.
Yeah.
Growth.
Yeah.
Growth of your players, growth of your prospects, growth of your men in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Why not?
But, all right. I feel like, I've gotten my hockey buzz.
Yeah,
for the rest of the week.
Okay, I feel pretty good too.
Yes. And we get more of it Monday, Neutral Ice, 8 o'clock.
Yep. So Frozen 4, April 9th. Those are when the first two games are being played to decide who plays the national
championship. This on Monday.
We should be talking about this on Monday.
You're darn right we should.
After when it's all over too. So Omaha versus Providence. I'm taking Providence in this game, and then BU and North Dakota. I'm taking North Dakota. I think it's gonna be Providence versus North Dakota in the national championship game. I'm taking the Fighting Sioux.
Fighting Sioux.
Fighting Sioux out of North Dakota.
I think North Dakota, they were the number 2 overall seed in the entire tournament. I feel like I'm going to agree with you, Frank. I think North Dakota wins the whole thing.
Yeah. I've said North Dakota's going to win the whole thing since the start of this since the start of it. Actually, I've been saying North Dakota's going to win for probably about a good month. I've been thinking North Dakota's probably going to win. I'm thinking that for probably about a good month now. So.
Now, let's talk more college stuff.
Okay.
Because there's another certain NCAA tournament Final Four that's happening on the same days.
Yeah.
The
basketball.
March Madness basketball tournament. And I don't know what it is, but lately the number 1 seeds have been doing very well.
You've got number 1 seeds in the Final Four.
You've got number 1 Kentucky, the
number 1 in the country. Going up against Wisconsin. That's going to be
Wisconsin. That's a 1 seed.
That's a really good game. That's going to be really good.
Yes, I feel like Wisconsin has a chance because they don't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
I had brought this up on Buffalo Blitz.
Okay.
And I thought, the Badgers I would have said that they may be the toughest thing that Kentucky faces this year, but then Notre Dame happened.
Yeah, Notre Dame was a very tough game.
Compelling game.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised.
I missed out on it because I was watching our fans boo the Sabres in favor of the
Yeah, same
Coyotes.
here. I wasn't really watching that game. I was watching the Sabres.
But I was reading about it, and I'm reading on it on Twitter, and I'm seeing, wow, this is a great game. It's a barn burner. Kentucky's losing all game.
Yeah.
So, maybe Notre Dame does give Kentucky the biggest test of the season.
Maybe.
But Wisconsin's going to give them another challenge.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easier from here.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, on the other side of this, you've got Duke, another number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. going up against the 7th seed, Michigan State.
Who probably had to have been the worst rated, the best seventh seed in the tournament. Coached by Tom Izzo.
Yeah, Tom Izzo's a great coach.
Who knows how to get the best out of his players in the tournament.
Yeah.
I got to say, probably one of the best tournament coaches you're ever going to see, period.
Okay.
And how do you not root for them?
It's tough to pick a side. It's very tough.
How do you not root for them?
It's Tom Izzo versus Coach K.
Yeah. And, in a tournament that has now got 3 number 1 seeds.
In the Final Four.
And 1 underdog.
Yeah.
Yes, a prestigious program that is considered a heavy underdog. Why do you not root for them?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I got to say, I've got a lot of friends they're Michigan fans.
Yeah.
Even they're pulling for little brother. That's what they call Michigan State. But again, it's one of those things where there's no underdog stories left. Michigan State's your best underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
If they make it, who's not watching?
Yeah, who wouldn't be?
For the best interest of the NCAA, Kentucky has to beat Wisconsin.
Okay.
Whether they face Duke or Michigan State in the final,
It's got to be Kentucky.
for the NCAA's sake,
Yeah,
it has to be Kentucky.
exactly.
But I'm not too huge on them exploiting athletes for free, completely free, outside of a scholarship. So I don't care if they don't make it. Honestly, I don't want to see 40-0. I don't want to see the perfection. Why? Because then another team gets to chase it. It's another story for another year.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where...
Because then going into next thing, it's going to be like, okay,
Kentucky did it last year.
And then is there a team that can follow it up, or can Kentucky follow it up?
Kentucky's not going to...
And then it's going to be like, oh, Kentucky's on this winning streak right now. Yeah, it's like... Well,
And also, Kentucky is a team of a bunch of one-and-dones. Why would I care for a bunch of one-and-dones that are just going to hop to the pros the next season?
Yeah.
And John Calipari's, I'd say, a villain, and when it comes to fans in the NCAA.
Yeah,
he's left Memphis. He's left UMass in grease fires.
Mm-hmm.
Sanctions because of him, and he just got to sign another contract with another school scot-free. He got no punishment for his actions, which were, they were illegal by NCAA rules when it came to recruiting.
Yep.
And, academic, making sure players were safe academically.
Mm-hmm.
And UMass and Memphis are not anywhere near the same programs that they used to be.
Yeah.
I remember UMass, it was back in the 90s with Marcus Camby. Yes, I'm that old. I'm 26. I'm not that old, but I'm old.
Okay.
I'm old compared to the rest of the people here at WBNY, and not named
true.
Chappie.
That is true.
Or Tom Conley.
Okay.
And much respect to them. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
But you've been around the
But
block.
I know who Marcus Camby was as a college student.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
And Camby, I think, is entering in double digits in the NBA, or if not retired. So I remember those days as a little kid. I remember thinking Marcus Camby had an awesome name.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember UMass being an awesome basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because John Calipari was recruiting people. He was doing it illegally, it seems. And then he gets to leave scot-free, and I don't think that's right. Maybe I have too much of a morality code that's just like black and white. I don't like the tank. I don't like John Calipari. I don't like Nick Saban. But again, it's one of those things where I can love to hate Kentucky because they just recruit one-and-dones every year.
Okay. So would your ideal matchup for the national championship be Michigan State versus Wisconsin?
No.
No?
No. It would honestly, when it comes to give me the most exciting matchup, and that's what I truly care about at this point.
Probably.
I'd honestly think I'd want Wisconsin against Duke.
Okay.
Because that game was...
That would be a.
It was a 10-point...
I think no matter what team
it was a 10-point win earlier this season for Duke over Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's a different team.
Duke's a different team because
They're both
had
different teams.
they had Rashid Suleiman on the team still.
Yeah.
Suleiman had 12 points in that game.
Mm-hmm.
No Suleiman means technically Duke loses by 2. But
technically speaking,
if we literally took the points out of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't track his assists. Anyway, but that means you've got a tighter game than usual.
Yeah.
And why not? So
it'd be a great game. I think no matter what game it is, it's going to end up being a great game.
It's going to have a story.
Yeah.
Regardless, if it is Wisconsin, Michigan State, big story becomes Michigan State's the 7th seed. Can they pull it off?
And then it's like it's a rivalry thing too, because it's
Big
Wisconsin, Michigan.
Big Ten matchup.
Big Ten matchup. Wisconsin, Michigan.
Michigan State has an axe to grind with Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They had that game in the Big Ten championship, and then they scored 0 points in overtime.
Yeah.
So Michigan State's hoping that if they take care of business, it's Wisconsin on the other end and not Kentucky. Not just because Kentucky's good,
but because they want revenge.
Because they want
Wisconsin.
the revenge.
That's why I'm saying that's the matchup I want to see, because revenge,
and that's a huge.
And I would cheer for Michigan State that game because revenge is sweet.
Revenge is sweet. I've been a fan of Michigan State. Like, they're one of those colleges I follow. Yeah. So obviously I'm going to pull for them. And also I love seeing upsets. So, but of course the one upset that didn't happen was UB,
West Virginia.
Bah. But that's several weeks ago. That was
a while ago.
That's in the past.
Yeah, and when you look at it too, that was just a great game in general.
Oh yeah,
it was a hell of a game in general, and
they made it back into a game, which was huge.
Yeah, and it's against a really good team in West Virginia. You can't.
I watched the West Virginia game against Maryland, and I saw how UB lost.
Yeah,
Devin Williams is a monster for West Virginia.
Yeah.
On the boards, and the way that they press, it's hard not to turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Maryland fell apart after their star player, Melo Trimble, got hurt.
Yep.
And I mean fell apart. That game became boring. No one wanted to watch it. It was disappointing because the kid wanted to go back in the game, but he had slammed his head on the court 3 different times, and the coach was like, "No, you're done. You're done."
I don't blame the coach. For that because
coach pulled him out because
concussions.
And you saw and if you'd watched that game, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
He had his head in a towel. He was openly crying in public because he wanted in.
I don't blame him. He wanted in. And we're both, we're both people who have played sports for almost basically our whole lives.
How many times have us said, "No, man, we're good. I'm good."
No matter what kind of sport it is, no matter what kind of game it is,
I've come back from a concussion in a game.
You always want to play. Yeah, you always want to play. Whether or not you've gotten hurt or not, you always want to, especially after you've gotten hurt, you want to still play that game because you want to be there for your team. Whether or not it really matters, it matters to someone. And if it matters to you, that's great, because, I played a lot of, rec sports my whole life, pretty much. I've played Little League Baseball my whole life. I love playing there, and I've always wanted to play for my team because, I just want to be there.
They're not just your teammates. Some of them end up being your friends.
Being your lifelong friends.
Yes.
Exactly.
I have several of them that I still talk to from those days.
Sometimes you end up going to college with them and being on the same college team with them too. Or even high school, same thing.
I mean,
and that's the kind of thing that, a lot of people don't look at. It's like, oh, well, you're only playing Little League. Who cares? It's not like you're gonna go anywhere. It's like, well, you never know.
It's not about that sometimes. Yeah. It's about the camaraderie. And the camaraderie.
And it's about bonding.
It's not always about winning. It's not always about making the money, making it big. Sometimes when you get there, you see it, and you just want to be there. You want to be there for them. And again, it's not something that you want to see any athlete have to deal with. And I saw it with Melo Trimble from Maryland, and it sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Yeah,
we went a little off topic there.
It's all right,
but that's fine because these are the leftovers.
Yeah. So.
Derek Kramer with you, Frank Arcuri.
Yep.
Arcuri.
All
right, I'm getting better with words today as this goes on.
Words I'm better with.
I can words.
I can word better.
I can words.
Yeah. Okay, so
speaking of words, Bills. Frank.
Okay, that's a word.
Frank.
Yes.
This is a team that, even with everything that the Sabres have done this season being the big news.
Yeah.
General Manager Doug Whaley has done everything in his power to say, hey, we're the Bills.
Hey.
We're the Bills.
Look
at what we're doing. We got LaShawn. We got Percy.
Okay. Yeah. So, I really like what Willie has done this offseason. I love the trade. Hey! Okay. So I love the McCoy trade. I love, I wasn't real. I was like, why would you trade Kiko? But then looking at how this defense was,
actually 4 words: Nigel Bradham, Preston Brown.
Exactly.
Those were the reasons
that
Kiko was ousted. It was
exactly.
It was not anything he did wrong.
No.
It was just what those two did right. And Frank, I went to Rochester 4 times last summer.
Okay.
I was actually even on ESPN. I got photographic proof.
Okay.
For the first day of training camp.
I want to see this.
I'll show you.
Well, show it to me later.
As I'm looking it up, I can say this.
Okay.
2 players were gave me the biggest impressions when it came to everything that was going on.
Yeah. And that was
the first one.
Yeah.
Was Sammy Watkins.
Okay.
He was worth the hype.
Yeah. He was worth the hype.
He was worth
absolutely.
He was worth every penny that they paid.
Yeah, and more.
And it's one of those things where.
Nice.
But
I like that picture. Nice.
You want to know the second thing?
What?
Second player that impressed me the most?
Who?
Nigel Bradham.
There you go.
He was everywhere.
Yeah.
I cannot stress that enough. Nigel Bradham. When Joe Biscaglia said Nigel Bradham was the best player on the defense on days where Darius wasn't taking over,
he was right. Absolutely.
First off, it turned my interest. It piqued my interest. I'm like, he said, look out for Nigel Bradham this training camp. I paid attention. I was not disappointed. And throughout the year, I was not disappointed.
I wasn't disappointed either.
When you look at it, Nigel Bradham had a 2-game suspension.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year.
He did.
Do you want to know the game where they gave up the most running yards in the first 6 weeks?
It was a game he wasn't playing.
Chicago, week 1.
Yeah.
Matt Forte ran everything.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Matt Forte also was able to catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Because he does Matt Forte things.
Yeah.
Nigel Bradham was I'd say Kiko Alonso light. He's not as fluid in pass coverage, but he's more stout in the run game.
Yeah. And that's good.
But every time you had a big-time pass-catching running back, who was on him this year?
Nigel Bradham.
And guess what? If Bradham wasn't in, it was Preston Brown.
Yeah.
I loved that pick when that happened last year. I loved that pick. It was a great value pick.
Preston Brown went in what round?
Third
round. Okay.
I hated the Coentro pick before he showed that he was not good. And I have archives on that.
Okay. Okay. But in any case, this Bills defense was historically good.
Sick.
Historically good.
Now, Frank, here's a question for you.
Okay. I'm listening.
Is this team the most talented in the NFL sans quarterback?
I think the potential is there. I don't want to say yes right now because you never know if there's a move that can make another team even more talented. I'm still thinking of a team like the Denver Broncos. When they, because who's their running back going to be this season?
That's definitely going to be C.J. Anderson.
C.J. Anderson.
I mean, Monty Ball is not.
No. So
he's another Wisconsin back.
So C.J. Anderson. Who are their receivers? Well, let's see. Demarius Thomas, Wes Welker. There you go. That's a lot of talent right there. Didn't they pick up a tight end, too, because Julius Thomas went to Jacksonville? I don't remember if they did. But in any case.
They could draft one. They're in the range of Max Williams, the tight end out of Minnesota. So that would be something.
So that would likely be. So, but even so, right there alone, that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent on the offense. And the defense side, maybe that's where you could probably say the Bills do have the most talent in the NFL because they're balanced. They have a balance now. Besides the quarterback, there's balance on the offensive side because now you got Shady, you got Sammy, you got Robert Woods.
You got
now
Percy Harvin.
Now you add Percy Harvin.
Jerome Felton, the Pro Bowl running back who paved AP's record-threatening season.
Yeah, and now
Castle and EJ are going to be duking it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to expect the Bills are going to draft a guard in this draft.
Yeah.
If they don't, I think that Craig Urbick has a fight for his job.
He's going to have
with Cyril Richardson.
Yeah.
Or Cyrus Kouandjio. They may kick him inside.
Okay.
So
the offensive line still looks pretty good, but you just got to add one more piece.
Add one more piece on that offensive line.
Yeah.
And obviously, quarterback is your
big piece, but
your weakness.
But you know what? We can argue too that any quarterback can be really good in this league. I think we need a stellar offensive line. And if the Bills have a stellar offensive line, it almost essentially speaking, it doesn't matter. We just have to put a pretty decent quarterback in the game.
And I
got a guy like Matt Castle.
Matt Castle or EJ Manuel.
Yeah.
We still have yet to see what he's learned.
I hope
from
he's
his
learned.
benching.
Exactly.
Because you know what you can't coach? Natural arm talent.
Yeah.
You know what you can coach?
Brain.
Mechanics. Footwork.
Yeah.
Those improve accuracy.
Football smarts too.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
Is something that you can help teach.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a trait you still have to have. It's something that you need.
But it's something that.
But it's something film can help you with.
Yeah.
It's something that a veteran like Kyle Orton can be like, hey, once he plants that foot, throw him the ball.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's covered. You throw him the ball. Why? Because guess what? He's going to break on that cut, and he's going to be open. So you can teach anticipation to it. I still think only to a respect.
Yeah.
But I still think it's possible.
Okay. I completely agree with that. Yeah, I completely agree.
EJ's not dead here, people.
No, he's not dead. Absolutely. So this is going to be a really good fight for the quarterback position. Then you also added Charles Clay this offseason, too.
Yes, we forgot about Charles Clay.
Yeah.
He's a very athletic tight end.
Athletic tight end. He can block.
Catcher.
He's a guy who could make a difference on this team. And with the receiver core that we have and with the running backs now that we have, this offense now looks a million times better than what it was last season. And then the defense still remains the same.
The defense is going to be playing back in Mike Pettine's system.
And it's, you know what?
Where they set a franchise record for sacks for a team in a season.
Yeah. Exactly.
Remember that, people.
Let's remember that. So,
yes,
this Bills team. They were
horrible against the run under Mike Pettin. But look what Cleveland did against the run under Pettin. They were awful.
Yeah.
So they only know how to defend the pass. Mike Pettin, I think, only knows how to defend the pass in an elite way. The Bills, with Rex Ryan, have the linebackers to stop the run.
Yeah.
Have the linebackers to stop the pass.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore is going to become Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, he really is.
His Twitter handle, people, is Bump and Run Gilmore. Let me give you a hint. Jim Schwartz's zone defense was not the best fit for him last year, and he was still awesome.
Yeah, he was still good.
Gilmore does the best when he's able to put his hands on a receiver, jam him up in the first 5 yards, and stay with him. Leotis McKelvin was so much better under Mike Pettin when they were able to run a bump and run kind of system.
Yeah.
So I would like to see him get back to that. Corey Graham is a great insurance policy, if not your cornerback number 2.
Yeah.
So
who's going to be the starting safety?
That's my only issue with this team.
Okay.
On the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Because it's why I asked the question, and it's why I'm not necessarily ready to crown them the best roster sans quarterback.
Okay. So maybe
Denoris Searcy was worth every penny Tennessee gave them.
Okay.
I can agree with that. Sucks.
Yeah. I will have loved to have kept him.
And it sucks.
I really want to keep him. So do you think the Bills are going to look to the draft for a safety?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they will.
Okay.
I need to really truly familiarize myself with the class.
Okay.
In the coming weeks.
Okay.
And I need to hit the film study pretty hard. But but that's
maybe,
not hard to do. I've got time.
Yeah, maybe check to see
I've got time between
potential
classes.
free agents too that are out there.
I'm not the free agent crop.
It's kind of done,
yeah.
but you might never know. Sometimes
also
you find
the Bills
a diamond in the rough.
the Bills are very high on another player on their roster.
Yeah.
Jonathan Meeks.
Okay.
Out of Clemson.
Okay.
Drafted 2 years ago.
Okay.
No.
2?
Yes, 2 years ago.
Okay.
He hasn't hit the field yet as an active player. He's been hurt in the last 2 training camps, and it's been for the year kind of injuries. Mm-hmm. They still like him a lot. They still like Duke Williams a lot.
Yeah.
Kenny Ladler out of Vanderbilt, a rookie last year, played sparingly. Mm-hmm. They like him a lot too. So they have young safeties that could be in the mold of a Denoris Searcy. Searcy was a 4th-round pick. People don't remember this. They got him in the mid-rounds.
Yeah.
So they found a value safety in the mid-rounds. Cam Chancellor, he's an all-pro safety. They got him in the 4th round. You can find a good safety in the mid-picks. You don't need a high pick to hit.
No.
So, that's another thing. You can find a mid-round pick on a safety, and he could be Cam Chancellor or even Denoris Searcy. I'll take Denoris Searcy. I'll take another Denoris Searcy, a 4th round pick.
I'd definitely take another Denoris
Exactly.
Searcy,
A 4th or 5th round pick becomes another starting safety capable of making plays in the NFL.
Yeah.
Do it every day.
Any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Any year of any year of the all time.
Let's say. Okay, so let's go with Meeks for a second. Okay, let's say he makes a team, and he's a starting safety on the team.
I like his range.
Okay,
he's a rangy safety.
Okay,
able to make the plays, and he's a good. And he's
based
a
on that,
unstopper.
And then it doesn't matter who you put at quarterback. Where do you see this team going this year? Well, but this is before the draft, right?
11-5.
You really think 11-5?
I think 11-5 is possible, attainable.
Okay.
Because Bills went 9-7 with Kyle Orton last year.
Yeah.
Kyle Orton.
And they're only getting better.
And they got better with the skill positions.
Yeah.
They got rid of the conservative Doug Marrone, which is addition by subtraction. I hated to see Nate Hackett go, but I may be like one of the 4 people that thinks that. Because you want to know something from the first year that they were coaching? The Bills were second in time between play calls. First was Philly with Chip Kelly's run. I want 70 plays a game. The Bills were second. So Hackett's aggressive. He was held back by Marrone last year.
Okay.
Because Marrone was so uptight about having new ownership and wanting job security. And when he made demands for him and his entire staff to get extensions for saying, hey, look at this. I made this team 9-7. It's a miracle. No, it wasn't a miracle. Doug Whaley has put together a great roster for you. There's only one major problem. And that's you don't have faith in E.J. Manuel.
Yeah.
Who helped win you the game in Chicago. People remember that Chicago game with Fred Jackson abusing the soul of Chris Conte.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I don't care, like, the stiff arms to the face. He abused his soul.
Mm-hmm.
But do you know the play that set it up? 3rd and 15. In overtime. In their own territory.
Okay.
Mike Williams down the seam. Makes a great leaping catch on a dart from E.J. Manuel.
Okay.
I mean, Kyle Orton may not have the arm strength to make that pass. E.J. puts this thing up for Mike Williams. He puts it up for Mike Williams, who, thanks Doug Marrone for burying that one too. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, those 2 players helped win a game for him, and he benched both of them. Alienated one, and may have damaged the confidence of another. So any opinion that Doug Marrone has of players on the roster, I find irrelevant.
Okay.
Except for one, Chris Hogan. 7-Eleven, always open. And in training camp, he was proving that.
Yeah. I really like Hogan, too.
Hogan's a good player.
Yeah.
Or at least better than people think.
Yeah.
So I will never forget that play against Chicago, though. I think it's one of those things where I don't care. Like, that helped win them a game. But now let's look at the Bills' opponents this year.
This is what's said to be the opponents right now.
Miami, New England, Jets, twice a year.
Yeah. Then right now they have Houston, Indianapolis, Dallas, New York Giants, and Cincinnati. Yes. And Cincinnati all at home.
South?
Yeah, they do get the South this year, and those are the home games. Then you go to Tennessee, you go to Philly, you go to Washington, and you go to Kansas City, and then they also play Jacksonville, which is in London.
Now let's think about this. Jacksonville.
They're rebuilding.
No, ready? Just say win or loss when I say the teams.
Okay.
Jacksonville.
Win.
Tennessee.
Win.
Washington.
Win.
Kansas City.
I'm gonna go win.
They've had them. They've almost had them for 2 straight years.
Yeah.
What makes you think that they are not going to get them this year?
Yeah.
Both on.
It's on the road, but
both on soul-crushing plays. Jeff Toole's interception that goes 100 yards the other way 2 years ago.
Yep.
And Bryce Brown's fumble on a great play by Ron Parker.
Yeah.
People will be quick to blame Brown, but Shady McCoy fumbles that ball.
Yeah.
And he was right on the goal line.
It was just a perfect spot.
Yes.
I was even saying it when I was like, I can't blame Brown for that. I can't blame Brown for that.
Yeah.
He was running in the right spot. He was doing everything right.
I can't even blame Chandler for not falling on it. That's just how football's bounced.
That's just football right there.
But
okay,
again,
so
Kansas City
win. I say win.
Cincinnati.
I'm gonna say loss.
Giants.
I'm gonna go win.
Dallas.
I'm gonna say lose.
Indy,
Lose.
Houston,
Revenge. Win.
Jets,
Both wins.
Miami,
Both wins.
New England.
That's a tough one. I'm leaning towards a split.
Split.
I'm more leaning towards one. And then Philly, I'm gonna say loss.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Philly.
Yeah. So let's go by that. So beat Miami twice.
Beat Miami twice.
Beat the Jets twice.
Beat the Jets twice.
Houston, win.
Houston.
Tennessee, win. Let's see. Washington, win.
Washington, win.
Jacksonville,
KFC,
win. Kansas City, win. Giants, win. How many is that?
I got 10.
10-6.
10-6. With 11-5 with an upset.
Yeah, with 11-5. With
say
assuming you split.
Say Indy's all Andrew Luck again, and the Bills pressure him.
Get to WBNY. Yeah.
That's a stealable game.
Dallas is still a stealable game too.
Say Philly, with all of their players that they've signed and traded for that have had reconstructive surgeries on their ACLs. Say Bradford's not the quarterback there.
Who is?
Sanchez. Win.
They can win.
Win.
Yeah.
That's a win. Any day of the week.
Dallas. Get to Romo. You can shut. There is a possible chance they can shut down Dez Bryant.
Washington
there is a chance that you can do that.
I remember the game, Dallas-Washington, where Romo got hit so hard. We had the starting quarterbacks of Brandon Weeden and Colt McCoy.
Yeah, he got hurt. He
got
did.
Hurt that game. He's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone other than Brandon Weeden
exactly.
as a backup quarterback.
Exactly.
I'm not banking on injuries here. But what I'm saying is Washington gave a blueprint on how to beat Dallas.
Yeah.
They don't have DeMarco Murray anymore. Yes, they've got a great offensive line, but
who's their running back now? Exactly.
He was yet to be named, probably taken in the first round of the NFL draft.
Okay.
I'm going to assume maybe I think they might take a shot at Todd Gurley.
Okay.
But if it's Todd Gurley, that's fine. I'll deal with that.
Okay.
Either way.
And then Cincinnati.
Andy Dalton is the threshold of average for quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
There are days where he has a bad.
So you can hope. So
bad
this is
Jeff Toole kind of day.
This could be the year that the Bills make a standout.
I say 11-5 because
11-5 is very possible.
Upsets happen.
I think it's very possible.
Doing it.
Now, let's say 11-5 happens.
Playoffs.
Do they make the playoffs?
Playoffs.
Okay. Where?
Wild card.
Okay. So
I still think New England goes 12-4.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
okay.
New England.
Because they're New England. Okay. I can agree. Okay.
Maybe even 11-5, and they have the tiebreaker for some reason.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Okay. New England's also the defending champs too.
Yes.
So
you got to give them some credit there.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Okay.
And Belichick and Brady, as much as I don't like to say that,
they're still
Belichick and Brady.
They're still Belichick and Brady. Exactly. Okay. So 11-5 is very possible. So
11-5 in playoffs are very possible here
this season. Okay. I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And again, they've made a point. They've made a case for being one of the best rosters in the NFL without a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, there are NFL analysts around the nation that love this team except for one position. Quarterback.
Exactly. The QB.
Does it suck? Yes.
Yeah.
But I've got some names for those that will look into the future. You ready?
Let me hear it.
Christian Hackenberg, Penn State.
Okay.
Big time guy. Mm-hmm. You've got Connor Cook, Michigan State.
Yeah.
I love this kid.
Yeah.
I love this kid.
Yeah.
I think he's
probably going to go number one.
He's probably out of the Bills' range.
He's probably going to go number one next year.
Yes.
In 2016.
He's out of the Bills' range.
But still, he's a name.
But hey, he could be Teddy Bridgewatered and sent to the bottom of the first round again.
Could be.
I mean, it happened to Teddy Bridgewater. Why couldn't it happen to Connor Cook? Man can dream, right?
We can dream.
We can dream. Cardale Jones. I'm not sold on him yet. Mm-hmm. But I was charting his throws in that championship game against Oregon. I liked it.
Okay.
Part of it is Ezekiel Elliott was just all over the place on everything.
Yeah.
But, there's also one name that people don't seem to know. This kid out of Cal had a breakout sophomore campaign. And he goes by the name.
Dun, 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 dun,
I gotta
dun.
remember. I don't,
drum roll, please.
I don't remember the name verbatim here. but it's Jonathan. I think it's Jonathan Goff, Goff. And I just got to find out where the spelling was on this.
Does he go this year or next year?
He is next year.
Next year?
Definitely next year.
Okay.
I think it's Jonathan Goff or Huff. I got to remember. Goff.
There he is.
It was Jonathan Goff. I could have just said
6'4", 210. Wow.
6'4", 210. Dude hit 62% of his passes last year. 3,973 yards, just shy of 4,000.
Okay.
35 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Nice.
And this kid, he became the starter as a freshman. 18 and 10 on touchdowns and picks as a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He's at Cal. He doesn't have the best cast in the world.
But those are still impressive numbers.
He's a prototypical size quarterback. I looked at some of his videos. I liked what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed by his throws.
Okay.
I mean, there's quarterbacks that you can see and you're like, I don't love it.
Yeah.
There's quarterbacks you watch and you just go, I don't love the throws.
Okay.
You can tell sometimes that they're not NFL throws. You don't even have to be a draft guru kind of person to find that out. You can see receivers just making constant big catches.
Okay.
So there's that. Cody Kessler is actually another name that I like because I was watching tape on one of the USC receivers coming out this year.
Yeah.
On the suggestion of Nick Lombardo of the offseason.
Uh-huh.
And he really likes the wide receiver out of USC. I don't remember the name. But when I was watching his tape, because me and Ian Loretto, we just started, it was Nelson Aguilar.
Okay.
We're just watching film on Aguilar.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to see, like, okay, we got to see if this guy's impressive. We had just watched Justin Hardy. We'd watched Jalen Strong of Arizona State, and I love Jalen Strong. Too bad we don't need a receiver because the kid is 6'3" and can catch everything.
Okay.
I was watching Aguilar,
okay,
and I'm thinking, wow, this quarterback's putting it on the money. A lot of his highlights were streaks.
Yeah.
And balls on point. So Cody Kessler may be a guy you got to look out for as well. Yes, USC quarterbacks tend not to make it in the pros. See Matt Barkley, Mark Sanchez, people of all sorts.
Matt Leinart.
Matt Leinart. Everyone not named Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
You
never know, though.
It's still something to entertain.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where
now Kessler.
He's a pretty solid kid.
Okay.
I liked his throws.
This coming up. Okay. So this coming up season, which would be the season could be probably his final year.
He's a senior.
He's a senior.
He is a senior.
How long has he been the quarterback? Was this past season his first year as quarterback?
I don't know much on Kessler.
Okay.
All I know is that I was really impressed when I was trying to watch tape of a receiver. I have to do my homework on that, but that's not till next year's draft.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm also thinking of familiarity too.
He might fall.
Words, right?
He might fall for one reason. He's 6'1". Okay.
He's small.
He's shorter.
Well, I'm saying
he's not your prototype.
I'm saying familiar because Robert Woods, he is from USC as well. So if he knows him, he knows how this kid plays.
Yeah.
You know, and he speaks a good word. You know, you might, especially if he plays really well next season.
Exactly.
You might see something.
You might see something here.
Yeah.
And again, people are helping me turn heads on players to watch, and sometimes you end up getting stuck on someone else.
Okay.
And that's what happened with me with Cody Kessler. I liked what I saw.
All right.
And he's a name to put on the board.
Then I think next college football season we'll take a look out for him.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to. I think I'm going to start the minute the draft is over.
Okay.
Because next year is going to be the year that if EJ doesn't pan out, we need a quarterback.
Then you need to look for a quarterback.
We need to look new.
Yeah.
Or if EJ doesn't impress, you may still look for a quarterback as a competition.
Yeah.
And Cody Kessler may be that kind of guy.
Could be. Yeah.
I like EJ. I want him to succeed.
Him. I do like him too.
He's a very well-spoken, mature kind of guy. He's not a me guy.
Yeah.
Not RG3 kind of sense, where, he'll take blame.
Yeah.
Sometimes he takes it a little too personally.
Okay.
And that's
He's just gotta.
That's one of those guys that you want to root for, though.
Yeah.
He's very nice. He's articulate. He's very well spoken. He's a great kid. Mm-hmm. I want to see him succeed.
Okay.
I'm just still not sure that it's going to happen.
Well, we'll have to just wait until next season, pretty much then.
Yes, and I think now I think I'm full on leftovers, man.
I feel pretty good too. I think that's about time we got.
But look, We're going to do this every week.
Yep.
Stick on the YouTube channel WBNY.
Yeah.
Listen to our shows, not just the ones on All Talk Monday. Listen to the music. We got great music.
Love the music we play.
Great music.
I
man.
love
We
WBNY
play what
music.
other people don't.
Yeah.
We don't play crappy music. That's one of the plugs.
It is. So, I'm Frank R. Curry.
I am Derek Kramer. You all have yourselves a loving night, and we'll do this again
See you
next
next
week. Head on to All Talk Monday. I am Derek Kramer. I am on the off season at 4 o'clock. I'm on Buffalo Blitz at 5 o'clock, and I am on Neutral Ice at 8 o'clock. Monday is our busy day.
Monday is a busy day. I am also on Neutral Ice at 8 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. This is Derek Kramer and Frank Arcuri from WBNY. This was The Leftovers. We only get 1 day a week to talk. Now we get 2. Have a good night.